Good morning, Panthers. It's Wednesday, which means the end of the week is in sight. Just 1.5 days left. That's right, Friday is a half day. The weather today will be even rainier, but a warmer 52 degrees. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. It's a time of discovery, a time of importance, a time of learning. That's right, it's time for the aerospace fact of the day. Most of the teachers in the building, when they were learning about space, were taught that there were 9 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Then in 2006, Pluto was demoted as a dwarf planet, and there were only 8 planets left. Well, that all changed about a month ago when it was announced that we may have found a 9th planet after all, but it's not Pluto. Don't believe me? Check it out.
The solar system might have 9 planets, and this time the debate has nothing to do with Pluto. Last April we told you about some asteroids way out past Neptune and Pluto with orbits that make some astronomers think there might be an unknown planet out there, or even 2, herding them around. Researchers at the California Institute of Technology announced that a 9th planet isn't just a possible explanation for these oddities, it's actually the most likely explanation. The planetary scientists were trying to explain something peculiar about the orbits of a bunch of bodies out in the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy asteroids and dwarf planets, including our old friend Pluto, left over from the formation of the solar system. See, some of the most distant Kuiper Belt objects we know of seem to follow a similar pattern. All their orbits kind of line up. Basically, their orbits are just differently sized copies of each other. They tilt the same way, they're stretched out the same amount, and they bring the asteroids closest to the sun at the same place. Now, if everything in the Kuiper Belt had a random orbit and we were finding everything in a random order, the chances of finding such a high percentage of similar orbits would be about 1 in 14,200. Those odds aren't too tiny, but they're small enough that it's probably more than just luck. Which is why, over the past couple of years, different groups of researchers have been proposing different explanations, like a 9th and maybe even a 10th planet affecting the orbits of these objects. But there were problems with these predictions. For the math to work out, our solar system would have had a close encounter with another star at some point in our history. Except, if that actually happened, it should have also affected the orbits of the inner solar system, and astronomers haven't seen evidence of that. So the team from Caltech decided to take another approach. What if there were just one extra planet out there with a tilted orbit stretched out in the opposite direction, shepherding all those asteroids around? They found that a 9th planet, around 10 times the mass of Earth and more than 250 times farther from the sun, would explain the weird asteroid orbits we're seeing without complications like our solar system brushing past another star. And the math works out really well. That's why everyone's so excited. So the next step is to look for more evidence of this new planet 9. But it's going to be hard to find it directly, partly because it could have many different orbits, partly because it's so far from the sun it would take tens of thousands of years just to complete one orbit. Wherever it is, it's bound to be almost unobservably dim. Luckily, there is a way of testing for the planet without having to see it. The authors of the study make a clear, testable prediction. If the planet is out there, we should be able to find asteroids that are kind of a mirror image of the ones we talked about before, on the opposite side of the solar system. So if the astronomers find the predicted asteroids in the coming years, it could be strong evidence for the existence of a new 9th planet.
Now let's go to Guy for some Parkland news.
Thanks, Mohammed. Civil Air Patrol will be meeting after school. If you have any questions or are interested in joining, see Mr. Yi in room 2025. Boys Leadership will be meeting in room 1215 this afternoon. If you have any questions, see Mr. Flanagan. Super Sci U is going strong. They will meet tomorrow after school in room 2028 with Dr. Cohen. Come prepared to make permanent mounted slides for the microscope, and do not forget your flash drive. Don't forget to send your best selfies or group photos to parklandselfies@gmail.com by Friday. It's almost time for the basketball game of the year, the annual Parkland versus Loiterman grudge match on March 4th at 6 p.m. The boys and girls basketball team will play against.
Good morning, teachers and students. Pardon this interruption. 8th grade students, again, 8th grade students who have the pink pass for the NAEP test, please give the pass to your teacher so they can sign it, and please report to 2042 upstairs for your NAEP testing. Again, 8th grade students with the pink pass who are taking the test at 8:30, please report to 2042. Thank you.
Boys and girls basketball team will be playing against each other, and our teachers and staff will be playing against Loiterman's teachers and staff. This is an awesome event that is not to be missed. This year, the game will be held at Kennedy High School. Tickets will go on sale during lunches next week. If you get them at lunch, they're just $3. But if you wait and get them at the door, they cost $5. STEM night is almost here. It is Parkland's annual night for Parkland to celebrate what makes us great: science, technology, math, and engineering. Come out and see student presentations and have fun with different events and much more. The best part is that it's free and you can bring your whole family. The date is March 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. Don't miss it. Hear ye, hear ye! Calling all 7th graders to Medieval Fair on Friday. Prepare for the day of fun and be sure to come out on your best medieval costume. A pizza party awaits the homeroom earning the most points in Friday's festivities. See your World Studies teacher for more details. Now, here's a brief video highlighting this special day, followed by Samantha with our series about National Engineering Week.
Thank you, Give. Today's topic is electrical engineering, a field of engineering that generally deals with the study and application of electricity, electronics, and electromagnetism. This field first became an identifiable occupation in the latter half of the 19th century after commercialization of electric telegraph, the telephone, the electric power of distribution and use. Subsequently, broadcasting and recording media made electronics part of daily life. The invention of the transistor and later the integrated circuit brought down the cost of electronics to the point that they can be used for any household object. Electrical engineering has now subdivided into a wide range of subfields, including electronics, digital computers, power engineering, telecommunications, control systems, radio frequency engineering, signal processing, instrumentation, and microelectronics. The subject of electronic engineering is often treated as its own subfield, but it intersects with all the other subfields, including the power electronics of power engineering. Check out this video about it.
Electrical engineering is kind of the interface between physics, the physics of materials, and electricity at one side, mathematics, the basic tools of any kind of numerical or quantitative analysis. And then information, which is this kind of thing that emerges through what we can actually do with those things, what we can do with electrical systems.
Really, electrical engineering is about information, the processing of information, the transmission of information, the devices that create the information and so forth. It propagates into so many different areas, from optics, as in my case, to biology, to nanotechnology, and many, many other things as well.
Electrical engineering is really the engineering of electrons to do basically two functions. One is to transmit energy. The other is to transmit information. And so you're talking about power systems. But more importantly, in fact, most of our focus is on transmitting and processing information stored in electrons. We also engineer photons as well. So there's certain applications where photons actually do a much better job than electrons. And the one place where that is for long-haul communications, that is communicating over long distances.
And I find that to be extremely interesting because it's really on the borderline between two different fields. And students and researchers that are working in this area need to have their feet in both places. They need to understand both the physics, the underlying physics of the system, as well as the architecture and the network level issues that come up.
The electrical engineering sort of encompasses many different levels of abstraction, starting with devices that we use to engineer the movement of electrons and use them for computation and communication. The other is the designing of circuits that use those devices. Working the way up, designing systems that use those circuits. And at the very highest levels of abstraction, the mathematics and the software that is used to drive those systems or understand those systems made up those circuits, made up of those devices.
What we do in this field is create things like that. Think of new ways of putting together different techniques, different technologies, different ideas, different pieces of mathematics to build new applications, things that can make things that were previously unthinkable, make them possible.
Wish these students a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear wonderful person who's having a birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Thanks, Samantha. Panthers, as we end today's broadcast, we want you to remember these words from Thomas Edison. I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. It's okay to make mistakes, Panthers. It's not okay to learn nothing from them. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.